Welcome back, Earpers. We are going to discuss Season 2, Episode 10 of Wynonna Earp, titled I See a Darkness. Shay, what?
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome back, guys.
Shay, what?
Shay, what?
Sounds great.
Shay, what?
Yeah.
Nicole has some splaining to do. Welcome back, guys. We are the Wynonna Earp After Show. My name is Amber Plaster. I will be filling in for our fearless leader, Carrie D. Lane, while she is in London town, meeting up with some of the Wynonna Earp cast. Super jelly. You guys can keep up with me on Instagram and Twitter at Amber Plaster. And joining me is Yael Tygiel.
Hello, I'm Yael Tygiel, everywhere at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIL. And I'm live in the chat where everyone's going, Shay, what?
Shay, what?
Yeah, it's good.
My goodness, I've been scandalized. I thought for some reason maybe she was her sister, and I thought, well, they don't look alike, but...
I totally was down with her being a sister. I was like, oh, okay, great. So, like, this seems like a real cool family.
Yeah, we're going to have an estranged family member, maybe. We're going to get some backstory. Wife. Okay. Wife.
You know, I like that you said that Nicole has some splaining to do, because I don't think she does. I think Shay explained it. She was like, we were drunk. It was Vegas. It doesn't count. And I think what's real great about that is it reflects and mirrors perfectly
what Waverly did.
That said, I want to clarify. I feel like I was super wrong last week with the, like, it's not cheating. But I'm with, you know, the way Wynonna reacted, where, like, I think she would forgive her. I think I wouldn't have been that angry. And I think that that's what it was. And I think that now that we have this great mirror, you know, with Shay, it's going to be fine.
It's so interesting the way that you think and the way that I think, because you're of the side, shall we say, that, like, if you guys were dating Waverly Earp, God bless you.
Oh my goodness.
Let's just everyone imagine that for a second. If you were dating someone that sweet and that perfect, would you really be able to forgive her for getting drunk and kissing another girl? Yael says yes. And I see that side. However, I'm kind of on Wynonna's side, whereas she's like, you did what now? And Rosita's a what now? Oh, now I have to put her down. So, like, to me, it kind of gives another reason for drama, another reason to watch Rosita more carefully and to not trust her. And maybe to a lesser extent, Waverly and Doc, who have been keeping information from her. And now that kind of compromises the whole team. And I am just on Wynonna's side about all this. I do not appreciate any of this dishonesty. I am not here for it. But I can definitely see both sides. And I think it's really interesting. And that... that in the same episode we might lose Nicole, which I was actually a little worried about for a second.
I was not.
I usually I'm like, she'll live, but like for like a second, it was a really teary goodbye.
I was not, just because of the, like, the trope and the way TV is, and like how Emily Andress would never do that. I was like, it's not going to happen. So I didn't, I think because I know too much, I wasn't feeling the suspense that we could lose her. Her going into a coma, maybe I could believe, but like, her dying outright, I didn't. So that kind of, I guess it kind of took me out of the story, but I'm with you that Wynonna is like, everyone is like keeping secrets from her. And especially
it's making the team weaker, I think.
Especially when she's like, I told y'all about the baby. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not keeping secrets. Everyone knows what I'm up to. So I'm definitely with you on the Wynonna side.
And this is hard. I mean, it's also interesting that we get to see Rosita and Doc have a little bit more of an open relationship this episode, which I have such mixed feelings about.
What do you mean?
I just, like, you know, he kisses her goodbye, and he's kind of like, oh, have a good day at work, honey, or whatever it is that he says, and he does it right in front of Wynonna. And I almost feel that it's not even spiteful, that it's just genuine.
Yeah.
And Wynonna's like, twist my guts a little bit more. I'm pregnant. I already feel like an elephant, and now you're kissing literally the world's hottest woman in front of me. Cool. Cool. Way to help me
Yeah.
out in this time of crisis. So again, Team Wynonna on this.
But he does help her out in a time of crisis. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing is I think that she and he know they're not going to be able to, at this point, be exclusive. And that he's there for her, right? She's like, you're trying to make me pregnant again. And
That's true. I appreciate that one. She's like, you trying to impregnate me with your words again?
it was
Okay.
great. It was so great. I love, I think it was Kat who told us early in the season that that Doc was going to get more and more hipster. And today, this episode, I was like, oh, I really like hipster Doc. He looks so cute.
He kind of does with the coffee and the preferences.
And the
way-
like vest and he looks adorable.
I always enjoy the way that Doc dresses.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know this. And, oh, we'll have it every episode. Every single episode where Doc and Wynonna are not in frame, I'm like, okay, but when do they return? A little bit. I didn't really find dolls to be terribly necessary this episode. He just kind of shows up for me. Like, he's at the hospital and he's like, we'll get her back, Wynonna. And I'm like, why are you... What's happened? What happened?
Dolls this episode, when he stood up and was like, I'm going to be, you know, this test subject B, I liked that. But up until that, when he's talking to Waverly and he's like, do whatever you have to do for the woman you love. Like, don't, you know, what if we did give her the seal? Like, shut up, dolls.
Thank you, Yael. I was not having it. I was not having any of his dragon-eyed crazy for that moment where he was like, well, what if we just don't tell Wynonna? What if we just do the desperate thing and give the bad guy what they want? Like, no.
Yeah.
I thought you were a trained agent in some sort of good guy field black badge. What are you doing?
I could see the argument that he would do anything for the woman he loves, but he can't now. So he's telling Waverly, do whatever it takes for the woman you love.
So you think that desperation carries over?
I think so. I recently just was watching old episodes of Friends where Rachel tells Ross to do whatever Emily says, which is to get rid of Rachel. So, like, that's where my head's at right now, is people telling other people, do whatever it takes, not realizing that they're just shooting themselves in the foot. Sorry, that's where my head's at. I wanted you all
got
to know.
chills thinking about Ross and Rachel. I just love that show so much. We're circling back around to Wynonna Earp now.
You really do.
I do. I really do.
That's so funny.
It's fine. It's fine. I just love television so much.
Heather in the chat says, I think dolls would have been okay with Wynonna hating him versus hating Waverly. That makes sense. Being like, tell her that I forced you to do it.
That still doesn't...
It's dumb, but it makes sense.
That doesn't excuse the fact that giving somebody who is trying to hold somebody ransom, essentially, it's like, don't negotiate with terrorists just because you don't want to be blamed for it and you'll be less. It doesn't. You're still negotiating with a terrorist, essentially, or a bad guy, and no one wins when that happens. I mean, I was actually really surprised that Nicole came back to life when, spoiler alert, Waverly does comply with one of the
Beth.
I want to say witches, sisters.
Yeah, widows.
Widows. Thank you.
Beth
With
this
Beth.
episode.
Beth came into her own this episode, though, didn't she?
Up until now, I've been like, there's Mercedes and the other one.
Yes.
And this scene,
Mercedes and the other one.
right? And this scene where she's like being like, you're in love and she's gonna die. I was like, ooh, there's the villain. Like, I like this character. Where has she been all season? Just in Mercedes' shadow. I liked Widow Beth. I know she's a bad guy, but I liked this character as a bad guy. She was fun. She felt like someone that they should have been playing with all season.
I really enjoyed seeing the difference between the two sisters because I like that Beth clarified for us, like, yeah, she's my sister, but she's more like my husband's other wife. And I was like, oh. Very interesting dynamic there because Mercedes is very outspoken. She's very fiery. She's very sassy, even un-Mercedes. Even the widow that takes over her face takes on that personality a little bit of just being like, you must follow the religious weird rules that we've put in place, do the right thing. And the sisters in the back like, I'm gonna kill everyone if you give me the chance, and I'm not talking about it. And we're like, okay, Beth. Dang. She's the one you need to watch out for.
Yeah, I really liked Beth this episode. She was fun. I really wish we would have had more of her previously up until this point. But seeing Mercedes and Nedley, I fell in love with Nedley this episode. Up until now, I've been like, meh, he's there. He's kind of interesting and sometimes good. His like responses to the questions, when he says to Mercedes, she was like, I will give you so much pain or whatever. And she goes, that sounds kind of kinky. You sure you're not the real Mercedes? I was like, what does Nedley know about Mercedes?
Nedley knows things.
I know,
and we
so
get
good.
reminded, like early season 1, that he's been there through a demon-infested town for years, and he's like, have seen so much worse.
He's like,
just because I don't talk about it doesn't mean that I don't know about you.
He's like, we've had a demon. You know, it's not my first time at the demon rodeo. We had a demon rodeo.
So good.
I loved Nedley this episode so much, and then I was like, crap, now that I like him, he's gonna die.
I didn't think he was gonna die because I thought he was gonna die in the first season, and when they brought him back for season 2, I thought, oh, he's a recurring character that they've chosen to like this actor, and they're not gonna, because I know how the soup is made. I kind of know when they will and won't kill off characters, which is why I was so surprised that I was so nervous for Nicole this episode. I guess her acting just took me out of it. It's so good. Yeah, Nedley was adorable. It was really interesting to see Wynonna and Doc kind of come and save the day and kick ass, even though Wynonna was super preggo.
Yeah.
I was like, the baby, don't kick. A little bit.
It was...
Were you a little bit concerned?
No.
Okay.
I don't care much for pregnancy.
Oh, well. I was like, how are you? Anyway.
The Jay in the chat says, Nedley says, this is nothing compared to Wynonna pissed at me for eternity, which is a great line. And Sarah says, Nedley's comment about Saturday hockey is the most Canadian line the show's ever had. I agree. It was very him. And when she was like, I want the seal. And he's like, we don't have seals. We have elk and other things. But my favorite line from the entire episode. So first, my favorite line was that sounds kinky. My favorite line, and I caught it on second watch.
Okay.
Was when Wynonna says Doc could find a dildo in a nunnery.
Yes, I wrote that down too. I was like, what did she say?
Yeah, I was like, wait, what?
What?
I have that image in my head now.
Shay, what? I barely understand the reference, and it delights me so much. I'm like, does that mean that he could turn somebody so pure as a nun into a sinful, lustful woman? Or does that mean that he's such a detective that he could find dirt even in a clean place? Or both?
Yeah, so I have this image in my head now, and I'm going to keep it there.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Anyway, so, gosh, let's see what some other points we need to cover here. We,
The hot fireman. Ewan, I think his name is. I just have the hot fireman.
I also wrote hot fireman, and I'm glad that we both agreed to just call him that until he decides to step up his ally game.
Yes, absolutely.
When you start becoming an ally, you can get a name, hot fireman.
Mm-hmm. But that's how I still refer to the evil blonde lady from BBD. Evil blonde lady.
Evil blonde lady.
Mm-hmm. Until she blew up her head, and then I went, Lucado.
Lucado, that's right. That's who you are now.
Now that you're dead.
Let's see. We have Evil Beth confronts Waverly and claims that only she can heal Nicole. I really didn't like that storyline. I need explanation as to how Beth healed Nicole. Are there strings attached? What happened to Nicole now that time and space has changed?
So many questions.
So many questions need to be addressed now.
But back to the healing. Beth shows her a vial of some red something.
An antidote.
Yeah.
Potentially somebody's blood.
Right. So it's possible that was, I mean, she showed it to her. I missed it in the first round, saw it in the second round. But the whole storyline with Greta really angered me. That Greta's solution wasn't to help them find an anti-venom. Her solution was to have Beth heal her. And I got very unhappy.
I have so many emotions about Greta. It was a wild roller coaster for me.
Tell me.
The first one was like, the actress is back. I love her. She was my favorite from season 1.
Yep.
just like that. Like, it was a real roller coaster for me. So stoked to have her back, and yet now I have to hate her.
Right. I was so
Her twin
excited.
sister was so good and pure and wonderful. Now we have the bad witch.
Well, I mean, she's pissed that her sister died. I kind of get it.
Yeah, but if you remember the stone blacksmith?
It's Maddie the blacksmith, and this is Greta the Iron Witch.
Oh, the Iron Witch. Okay, thank you. So
Them and their medals.
So them and their medals. If we remember the blacksmith, she had this sort of like hippie, love is all around vibe to her. Even when shit wasn't going down, and her twin sister, before she even really knew what Waverly wanted, had this underlying darkness about her. If you kind of remember when she's like, "Oh, is your friend sick? How sad for you. Oh, witches, I might have a..."
But she says to her, "I know who you are. You and your sister. Why my sister's dead."
She's just dark, and I don't have much hope for that character, and that makes me sad because I really like that actress. And so I guess we need to address the elephant in the room, which is Doc and Wynonna are gone.
Yeah, so Doc is put back where we last found him.
In a different dimension, but yeah, he's stuck.
No, he's in the well.
I thought he was in, like, the trophy in some way. Because I didn't see any light coming out of anywhere.
No, we see like there's a shot. You must have been taking notes. There's a shot where it pulls out and we're in a well.
Okay,
he's back in the well.
Okay, he's back in the well. So then where is Wynonna?
That we don't know. She's trapped in another dimension.
And also, Doc doesn't have his ring.
Right. He doesn't have his ring.
Which is a problem for everyone, technically, right now.
Well, because the ring is with Beth.
Yes. Because the ring is 1, not protected, and 2, in evil hands.
Yeah.
And 3, probably activating Clutie. So, that's good. I don't like Doc being in trouble, obviously. And something that I would like to bring up regarding Doc is Doc met a whole new jerk at Shorty's, and nobody's talking about it. I don't know who this Revenant probably guy, right?
Yeah, he's a Revenant.
Feel like he was a Revenant?
Yeah, she pulled out the gun. It glowed.
It glowed, okay. He was incredibly good at cards, if not better at cheating at cards than Doc was, which alarms me.
Right.
He had a history with Shorty's in some way and wanted to get into the basement, and he just up and goes away. And I think that we need to go back and pay very close attention to whatever that Revenant was saying, because it's going to be relevant.
Yeah, I agree with you. I wonder what his story is, and I really am glad that he didn't that we didn't lose that bet where Doc was like, "If I win, you'll tell me what it is you're interested." I was like, "Oh, I'm glad that ended, because otherwise we would have been screwed and we wouldn't have known." We still don't know. I want to know what because the only thing that was in the basement before they put their lab in the basement was the seal. Right? One of the seals was in the basement.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. And also, I mean, probably a lot of Jeremy's research or Rosita's research.
Right.
As well.
There are questions in the chat.
I did find it interesting that in terms of like symbolism, Doc pulled up cards that weren't working for him before he gets in major trouble this episode. I felt that was very symbolic of him thinking that he's going to win the game and not getting dealt the hand that he thought that he would. And I think this is bad news for his character.
I definitely saw it also as like he's moping, right? Now that he's aging.
Yeah.
And so he's just off his game, which is, gonna continue to be that way, especially with Wynonna missing.
Yeah. I'm hoping somehow they end up in the same place, maybe together.
Well, so everyone in the chat was saying that he's back in the well because he never got saved from the well, because she got rewritten, or she's deleted from the timeline.
Oh, okay. So now let's talk about the timeline. So now potentially Waverly is with Jeremy.
Which I think is really cute to have 2 gay characters getting married.
I find it very confusing but adorable, but I'm also very confused.
Well, so yeah, I think there are a lot of things, like, I don't know that... I'm sure it'll be answered next episode, but like, if she's not there, who's the heir? Is there an heir? What is Black Badge doing there?
Is Willa back?
Yeah, excellent question. I feel like Rosita shouldn't be in the episode. Like, there are people that shouldn't be there because they aren't there yet.
Yeah.
Or they would have never come to town.
And that's why
Lucado
Doc
might
is
still
back
be
in
alive.
the Lucado, the Salt Witch, possibly. If the Salt Witch is still alive, then that means the blacksmith comes back to life, doesn't it?
Maybe. There are lots of questions.
Yeah, man. This could be a lot of reckoning with a lot of characters that we like coming back to life, depending on where Wynonna ends up. This should be very, very interesting.
Filmmaker Girl says in the chat, they never said whose wedding it was, though. And
That's true.
Isak says, I don't think Waverly is with Jeremy. I think he's just helping her plan the wedding. Ooh, Sloople says Willa marries Bobo. Wow. There's so many possibilities.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Ooh, Bam Lover says, I think he's the planner.
Oh, I like that. That's
yeah,
cute.
but I kind of would like it a lot more if Wynonna never came to town. Waverly would have never met Nicole somehow,
and Willow would technically still be alive, but she would still be technically on lockdown in the cult. So it's not likely that Willa's back in the storyline.
Right, but it might be really interesting if Waverly is getting married to Champ. If Wynonna never came to town.
True. Oh, right? God, can you imagine anything more gross in the world?
I really could. I could imagine a lot of worse things.
I can't. Yeah. Nothing. Maybe Hot Firefighter is getting married to somebody.
I'd be okay with that.
Also, would like to address, similar to, guys, we need to circle back around to a lot of things that dropped in this episode. One of them being the very creepy card playing Revenant that appeared in Shorties that will come back. And also the fact that Black Badge steals babies.
Yeah, like all these little things were just like mentioned, like we're not going to talk about them.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised.
And Dolls was one of them?
Yes.
I need all the information.
I feel like either...
Perhaps they made him.
They either made him or like took a baby and turned him.
Or it's like an X-Men situation. They found out he was super gifted and brought him into the Black Badge.
Right. So either he's an X-Men or he's a genetically made mutant.
Yeah.
There are like so many possibilities.
So many dragon possibilities, you guys.
Yeah. His mother fell in love with a dragon. Oh my God. It's Dragon and Donkey from Shrek.
Oh.
Because they have little dragon donkey babies.
Little babies.
They're so cute.
I'm into it. Also, I just want to address one of my other favorite lines. So many good lines in this episode.
Are you a Pokemon?
When Jeremy says nobody cares about your body, and Rosita's just like, boom, here's my sexy body. And everyone's like,
I care.
Right.
I care about her body.
Sure. Yes. But because Jeremy is who he is, he means it.
Yep.
He's like, I don't understand, but we know. Love that. Also, I do have a little bit of further bone to pick with Dolls, as per usual.
Mm-hmm.
If Rosita can't get killed by the widows, why are we not using her to battle them?
Yeah, excellent question.
And also Dolls. And Dolls is like, no, use me instead. Damage me and the only other person that could be fighting these two people. And also lie to your sister. Dolls, what, are you panicking? What's happening?
So I think the reason he never suggested Rosita is because everyone knew she was a Revenant except for Wynonna, and they didn't want to risk that. So I get that. But we've seen him like breathe out the toxin, like unfreeze himself. Dragonify it. Yeah. Dragonify the toxin.
Dragonify it? Yeah.
Thanks.
Dragonify.
I was like, I'm finding words.
Yeah.
So I think that's my theory as to why not Rosita. But he should have definitely been more involved. The other thing, the way the episode ends is the hot fireman gives him back the plate or whatever.
That should be interesting to find out about the dumb plate.
Here's the thing. They wanted that plate so bad. And they made a big trade for that plate. And that plate was so important to the hot fireman. And yet they were like, oh, sorry, we burnt up JC. Here, have the plate back. Why are they so eager to just give it back? And Wynonna says, wait, what is this made of? And then disappears. I'm going to assume iron.
Dang, yeah.
Because
I love that theory.
that it's made of
So
iron.
maybe anything that's iron becomes a not necessarily a Horcrux, but something that amplifies her power in a way.
Yeah, I mean when Hot was in the hospital and they were like, she has a lot of iron in her blood. They kept saying iron. Iron was
You're
said so
right.
much. And then the Iron Witch. I'm sure there's something related.
Ooh, I like these iron theories. Good
Thank
job, Yael. I didn't even pick up on that one.
That's what happens when you watch it like 5 times.
Oh, it's so good. They dropped so many character clues in this episode. It's definitely one of the most rewatchable episodes, I think.
Oh, and Doc could find a dildo in a nunnery.
And Doc could find a dildo in a nunnery.
So good.
Also enjoyed the "Give me my seal, give me my Nedley." It's adorable, and
So
I was definitely doing a little hero cheer when that happened. I was having it. Also, I do have another issue with Waverly. Why at the end of the episode does she Luke and Leia mouth kiss dolls as a thank you?
I think she's just affectionate. That was your question. My question was...
What? No. People do not appreciatively mouth kiss very forcefully people that they are not sexually interested in.
That's not true. But my question was, why did she end up at Shorty's? Right? At the end, she went to Shorty's. Girl, you have a home, you have other places to go.
I assume she was looking for Doc and Rosita.
Maybe.
Those seem to be the same 3 places they always check.
That's true.
I'm not too bothered by that. Just yet.
I want to take a moment, if I may, before we run out of time.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I want to let everyone know about some awesome stuff because I'm a big eater, as people may know.
I'm also a fan of food.
Yeah, we are fans of food. This show is fan of food. There's always donuts everywhere. And this episode had like 2 mugs, right? There were 2 mugs in this episode. Lots of food, lots of drinking. And each week, I want to tell you about Plated's opportunity because each week they have 15 chef-designed recipes to choose from. So you can travel the world just from your kitchen with Plated's recipes. They're inspired by cuisines from around the globe, like Malaysian fish curry, lamb shakshuka from Morocco. Ooh, if you've never had shakshuka, then...
I have never had that.
Really?
No.
Oh, shakshuka is an amazing Middle Eastern dish.
Shakshuka.
So good. I've never had the lamb version. I've only had the versions that my mother makes, but I definitely suggest checking that out. So Plated is a service that will do all the grocery shopping, send you the exact amount of each ingredient that you want. They're sourcing quality ingredients. So if you want artisanal mayo, they've got it. And it comes in an adorable little glass jar. If you've got a sweet tooth, Plated even offers dessert options, like no-churn coffee ice cream and cinnamon rolls. Yep, I think that's what I'm going to have later. Yes. So discover your ideal dinner experience. Go to plated.com/buzz to get 50% off your first Plated box. That's 50% off for a limited time only. Terms apply. See plated.com/buzz for details. That's at plated.com/buzz. B-U-Z-Z.
Nice, very nice. Yes, I look forward to trying Plated myself. I will be trying it out in the next week or 2, so I'll let you know how that goes. Apparently the chat has corrected me that the kiss was apparently on the cheek. I didn't feel that it was, but I think that makes so much more sense. So I believe you guys, and I just wanted to correct that.
think it's not that weird.
I think it's super weird.
People are affectionate.
Super weird.
See, again, we disagree.
Disagreeing again.
Maybe, but if it was on the lips, it was totally to offset. You know, she could totally argue, why kiss everyone on the lips, including Rosita?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go with that.
Okay. I'll take that.
Thanks.
I'll take that. She's like, see, I'm just an affectionate person, probably not cheating. But you know what? Listen, Waverly has been dishonest, and so has Nicole. Mm-hmm. So it makes that sting a little bit less, I think. I think that they both have some communicating to do in this episode. That is for sure.
And I think they'll do it next week.
I don't. This show loves to not have 2 characters communicate. Listen.
They definitely won't be doing it next week. They'll do it probably the week after, because next week we got to deal with bringing back Wynonna.
Yes. # where is Wynonna? Where is she? I need to know. I would love to hear you guys' theories on where Wynonna ended up and how Doc will get the heck out of that well, and also what wedding we're going to be seeing. This is pretty much the end of this episode for Wynonna Earp. We will be back on Sunday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time next week. Yael, do you have any closing thoughts, or where can they catch you on the internet?
You can catch me right after this on the Dark Matter After Show, and right after that on the Killjoys After Show, where we have Tamsin McDonough, the voice of Lucy, Skyping in. Also, tweet at me at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL.
Nice. Thank you guys so much for being here. I look forward to your theories. I look forward to finding out #where is Wynonna Earp soon, hopefully next week, we hope. My name is Amber Plaster. You guys can keep up with me on Twitter and Instagram at Amber Plaster. Until next week, Shay, what?
I was like, what are we doing?
Bye, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Shay, what?
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.